Hi, welcome to Magriza Made Me Cook. My name is Prince Yevanhu. So today on the show we're here at Lopengula West, which is 10 kilometers from the central business district of the city of Bulawayo, at the Bulawayo post office to be specific. So Lopengula West, or Lopengula in general, was named after King Lopengula, who was the last king of the Ndebele state. So today on the show we've got Mr. Hlengani Dube, brother, role model, farmer. He's going to show us the dynamics of his chicken farm, and so Hlengani is going to tell us a lot, and we're also going to have a cookout on Roadrunner chicken. Welcome to the show.
Hlengani Dube is a young agricultural farmer with my little work experience, where I started as a development practitioner at Caritas Zimbabwe, where I worked for 10 years. I worked with the communities in Matebele land, mainly focusing in Mzingwane district. I went to Bulilima and I also went into Cholocho. Now currently what I'm doing, I'm at World Vision Zimbabwe, where I'm actually participating in a community development as well, looking at issues of agriculture, low input sustainable agriculture, where we want to farm in terms of agroecology, Fumbudza, as well as a caricide model, as well as feed formulation, where you actually promote farmers in terms of feed, promoting them to design their own local feeds using the locally available resources. As you can see from the background, you will see I'm also now into poultry production. The love of farming and animal science began when I was a very young man. I grew up staying with my father, who was a farm manager at CSC Cold Storage Company, where he mainly concentrated on beef farming, where this is where I got experience in terms of livestock production. It was based in Matebele land, where Matebele land is full of livestock production aspects. In this regard, I began to love in terms of the livestock that I had. This is what made me then to pursue my career in terms of livestock. This is where I pursued in animal science, where I had to study in terms of animal science. And from there on, I had a passion where animals were my passion. I can give an example of one of the studies that I took part in, where we're saying we looked at a moringa plant as a means to substitute in terms of vitamin requirements for the animals. As a result of this study, you actually found that the meat quality of the birds was actually quite tender and tasty. I think as we go through today's cooking demo, we will see how best this tenderness of the meat has improved in terms of indigenous chickens. So we'll have the opportunity to slaughter an indigenous chicken as well as feel the taste and tenderness of the meat before we eat it.
So Mr. Dube, we are now in your incubator room. I don't know if it's the correct word that I'm using. Try incubator room.
Yes, it's an incubator room.
Okay. So I wanted to ask her, just tell us the dynamics of running a Roadrunner farm or a chicken farm.
The Roadrunner project, as you are well aware, it all begins in this room that we're in right now, where we have a hatchery, an incubator. How it then functions, or how does it then support the business that I'm into, the indigenous chickens? As I continue to breed these chickens outside there, I don't allow them to hatch. So how then do I then do it? I then use the incubator system. How does the incubator system hatch? So how does it work? On a daily basis in the morning, what you do, you go out there to your fowl runs, you pick up your eggs as they are being laid by the chickens. As you pick up your eggs, there's a handling issue that you need to consider, where we are saying as you handle your eggs, as you pick them up, You handle them with cane, you hold them at the center of the egg, and then you put it on in the trays, the egg trays. So as you arrive with them at your incubator room, you then start to clean them up so that the eggs are not affected in terms of the bacteria, or they're not affected in terms of any challenge that can affect in terms of development.
Okay.
So as you clean them, you don't use water.
Oh, you don't use water.
What you then now do, you take a wet cloth, you then rinse it a bit with water, warm water. You then wipe around the eggs and cleaning the surfaces. After cleaning the surfaces, you return them to the trays and give them a few minutes, 5 to 10 minutes to dry off. Okay. Because when they do enter with that water into the incubator, it then promotes in terms of bacteria growth. So we want to avoid what we call bacteria growth in the incubator. What is also critical in terms of collecting of the eggs is that eggs are collected within 7 to 10 days, but minimum is 7 days. If your eggs come after 7 days, it affects in terms of hatchability. It really simple means your hatchability will be either 50% less than 90 to 95% that you expect.
Okay.
So it is very critical that when you collect the eggs before incubation, if they are more than 10 days, you should know that hatchability is going to be affected and they might not hatch.
Okay.
Chickens last for 21 days before they hatch. If you have any other type of eggs in terms of guinea fowls and turkeys, these are hatched within 28 days.
Okay.
So as you put them into the incubator now, you then record them.
Oh yes, it's just also to catch you there. On the which design is or which model is this for the incubator that you're using?
Okay. The incubator that I'm currently using now is a 2-in-1. It uses both electricity as also being supported by the solar grid. This is in case that you do not have electricity available at your homestead. You are able to then continue the incubation process using the solarized system. As we speak right now, the incubator which we are using is being solar powered, so there is no need in terms of electrical use. This is all to do with energy saving, and the cost of electricity, this is the best machine to use that uses solarization. This incubation that we have here is a 580 capacity. It only holds 580 eggs at a given period. So at the moment, yes, we're currently looking at a capacity of 580, but we hope in the future to come we'll have a capacity of 1,790 incubator system, which are going to improve in terms of this one. The way I've been successful with this project is when the chicks have been hatched, I use what you call broiler starter mesh.
Yes.
Which are introduced to the chicks. This is because of the crude protein percentage which is within the starter mesh. However, because they are Roadrunners, someone will expect to use maybe Roadrunner starter mesh or any other, but I prefer to use broiler starter mesh because of the crude protein content which is within the broiler starter mesh, which is about 18% crude protein, which is very good for the growth establishment of the chicks. Okay. So I use this for the first 3 weeks. Once after 3 weeks has been done, I move the chicks from the brooder houses to the main brooding houses outside. So after then, I keep on maintaining the growth of the chickens.
Monitoring.
Yes, and monitoring. Okay. In short, that is what is here in the incubation process. Today is cookout. We are going to be cooking an indigenous chicken, which is a Roadrunner. Today we are going to be selecting one of the indigenous chickens that we have in this yard or in this farming business. We have what you call black astralopes, which are part of an improved breed of indigenous chickens. We've got Crowelas, as well as the Sassols. As well as you look at the background, we also have what you call Boschvelds. But today's cooking, we'll be cooking specifically the black astralope. Why? Because of the black astralope, it's got good and tender meat that we want to improve and that we want to test and see whether it's good in terms of quality. It's an improved breed from the indigenous chickens that we're used to. Now we want to do a demo cook for it. How we're going to do the demo cook today, we're going to be using what we call a tsotso stove. A tsotso stove is made out of mud, heated in high temperatures and high heat. The tsotso stove, as you look at it here, it's a wood saving stove in English. What does it mean? It simply means you will use little firewood but gain more heat in the quick cookings and to give a very good taste of a meal. The social stove uses liquid wood. So for those that do not have firewood, those that do not have coal to use, this is the best stove you can use in terms of cooking your traditional meals. It holds on the heat. As the pot is getting ready for the relish is getting ready, it maintains the heat in the pot, so you can leave it for longer periods for it to actually just cool, to warm up, and until consumption. What we want today, as we said, we want to test the meat quality, so we're only going to use the wings, the chest, the thighs for the cooking demo for today. The necks and the heads will be for another day. We will add a little bit of a few spices. We have the lemongrass, the rosemary, which we are going to add into this so that we can flavor our food. So in short, for today's demo, we are going to use the social stove and the black asterol.
Mr. Tu, thank you for the chicken. This is sweet. So I just want to ask, your family man, tell me more about the family and also your love for fishing.
Thank you very much. As a family man, I have 3 children and a wife, and this family is full into agriculture. The wife is now fully running in terms of the incubator, taking charge of all the eggs, the incubation process. So her responsibility is the incubation period, the incubator itself, and the chickens. The children are assisting in terms of feeding the animals, feeding the birds, cleaning the brooders, as well as collecting of the eggs. So as a family, as a whole, we are working together as one. So that we make a success of the indigenous chickens that we're trying to produce here as a family.
Where did your love for fishing come about? And I think that's the only question I would want to ask.
Fishing is a family sport. This is where it actually brings us together, where we go out as a family to go and spend a weekend out. So what we usually do as a family, we identify weekends during the fishing season where we go out together with tents and camping kits for the weekend, to sleep over and to come back on Sunday. I think it has brought us together as one, because this is when we spend time together, we share.
Then my last question, what impact do you want to have in this world?
Okay. The impact that I want to have, I want to share with the young generation that you can succeed as long as you take the first step. And another thing, we want people to have knowledge and how best to be self-sustaining and income generating in a young, very tender age. So that's why I'm engaging my children to take part in this project. As youths, they'll need to grow up, maybe having a business mindset to say they want to generate income and they want to be self-sustaining. Okay. With the current situation now, it's very difficult for people to be dependent on others. So to be self-sustaining is actually the key to it. In terms of the communities out there, I would like people maybe to have chickens in their households, because this is the basic provision for terms of household food security. So it is my wish that even the communities within the area that we're at are able to rear these things. They are not difficult to rear, and they are also a source of household income and household food security. So as we still have them, as people get to have them, we want them to generate these chickens throughout. So what I can advise is to say, even if you don't have chickens, buy eggs and start chickens. Come, bring your eggs for incubation.
Yes,
you can have your own chickens. So those that have chickens, multiply them. Have them many. Come, bring your eggs. We multiply for you.
Start small.
You have your chickens. Yes. Those that don't have, go and buy, or come and buy chicks. So it is very easy to start up, and it just takes a dedication and hard work to achieve it. So I encourage even people, young people, communities, start your chicken business. Whether you have chickens or you don't have chickens, there's always a starting point. I'm a very dog fanatic. I love my dogs. They are my friends. They protect me and my family. I love good breeds. The first breed that I really like very well is what you call the Boer Bull. It's a very good dog. It's a very good attentive dog. It listens, and it's very good, especially when you have children at home. Yes, they are very protective as well. At the same time, I also like to change in terms of breed types. So I've recently introduced a pit bull, where I want to use its aggressiveness. The aggressiveness in terms of protection of the house. As you can see, I have a chicken project with Indigenous chickens. There are a lot of challenges that we face out there in terms of theft. Therefore, these dogs are there to guide and protect the family.
It's also crucial for us also to have what we term these side hustles and also other sources of income, so that we're able to balance up if you've got to work, if you're working the basic salary, but also for children or for the family, growing up knowing like the value of money, how money is generated within the family is very important. Teaching our children the difference between assets and liabilities, income and expenditure, which is very important for us going forward, looking at economic emancipation. So, and also starting small, as Hlengani emphasized, you start small but also thinking big. Starting at your home yard, but not also limiting yourself there, growing that business, having more customers, having more incubators, and also growing your market. So it's also vital for us to start investing wisely in these side hustles, so that they are also able to sustain us in the long run. This is Principal Mahlangu. Catch you on the next one. Peace.